Howdy ho, folks. So, we've got the Legendary Lords tournament going on, and we'll be getting into it ASAP, I suppose. Tournament is supposed to start, like, literally right about now, so let me go ahead and pull up our very needed bracket. Oh, it's in, I have to go to Discord. Give me a sec. Here it is. We're missing two people of the 16 who have made it in don't seem to be here yet. Oh, wait, is this going to be much later today? So confused. Oh, because Twist is overseas, so that's why the start time looks like what it is. Okay, cool. So let's see who our first opponent is. Oh my god, it's gonna be final boss. Holy crap! So it's gonna be Kugath versus frickin' Skull Taker of all things. Here is what the bracket looks like as of right now. We are missing two people, so we got a couple of people with bye rounds. Gepard is on Arkin over there on the far side, looking nice and situated, holding out for whoever ends up winning between Rowdy and a Rogue AI. And then Charix will be waiting on Peanut Butter Special, and then Broccoli Fangirl on Arball. And I believe Broccoli and Charix already played on their respective lords against one another, so that's going to be a very interesting game if they end up playing one another. Oh, the tournament isn't started yet, okay. So is it going to change? Not 100% sure. Okay. Supposedly live. Let me open up this, Legendary Lords Dropbox file. That way, when needed, we can just flip over and we can reference whatever lords our opponent might be playing. I need to go take a look at Nurgle. Where the hell are they? Actually in alphabetical order. Kugath just... Kugath has to bring 5 Nurglings. Oh my god, okay. Honestly, the army that I have, it might not be impossible to beat up on all the little gremlins. Yeah, okay. Could just go for something a little bit different here. Get as many of those guys as possible, and then Corngors, the Bloodweight Berserkers, trying to summon them in first, because they're just impossible to touch. Let me get fun my opponent. The boss and I have played a couple of times. He's come very close to beating me, both instances. We'll see if I'm able to gut out a win here, because Boss was crushing it with Kugath. I mean, people were really struggling to take games off of him in the tournament that I watched, and it was like really high level folks, so this could be really tricky. Yeah, it's a bit of a shame the losers bracket didn't end up going off. It's good, AR. How are you, man? I don't know if you've been playing in a bunch of tournaments, Iceman, but if you've got any quality wins, let me know. Very curious. We'll see what we can do here. We've got map bans that we got to go through. I can also show off what that looks like. Here we go. We got Bordello Landing, Glade of the, Bordello Landing, Dunes of Cain, Eastern Isle Colony, Blazing Ramparts, Otsuchi Castle. All really fun maps. Against Nurgle, I really wouldn't mind fighting on any of these. Eastern Isle Colony, the least favorable, definitely the one that I'm going to ban out. Bordello Landing might also be a ban. Otsuchi, Blazing Ramparts, and Dunes of Cain are all split-pushing maps, so those are going to be a little bit better for me overall, I think. But Nurglings do a Vanguard deployment. They could just rush up to the objectives and just snatch them in the early going. I don't have, like, a tremendous number of units that would be super effective against them in the very early going. I guess I could do this. I actually think that's a bad idea. I think that Kugath's little booger grenades would actually mess those guys up pretty bad. Hounds against Nurgle, probably not, honestly. A Marauder with just some spreading the chevrons over to the Horsemen, probably the way to go there. Trying to think if there's anything else here that I really want or need. Obviously, the Exalted Bloodletters and the Heralds are the required units in my starting army. Not to say that these aren't good against Nurgle, though. I mean, the Heralds actually do throw down pretty well against some of the demon factions. The only problem with the Heralds of Khorne's Fury is that they lack a shield, and they don't have quite the same charge impact as Skull Crushers, which is a bit of a shame. I really wish they had a slightly stronger charge impact. I think they would be a perfectly fine unit if they just knocked over what they were charging into. They just get stuck in units so much, is the long and the short of their biggest problem. Alright, boss is here, so... Is he first ban or me? Boss is going to be banning map first. Let me do this real quick. I imagine Final Boss is going to be trying to ban out some of the larger maps here. I think Otsuchi Castle is the largest of the bunch. Dunes of Cain, between all three of the split-pushing maps, I think is technically the smallest, although I don't know if that is 100% true. Blazing Ramparts is fairly similarly sized. Anyways. However this ends up going. ban Castle. Okay, yeah, that figures. Ban Isle. We are going to try hard it. Whether we win or not, we're going to give it our all. So we got Castle banned. I banned Isle. Dunes got banned, so Blazing Ramparts, I guess? Yeah, Blazing Ramparts looks like it's going to be the play. Oh man, okay. I'm gonna go for something pretty wild myself here. Just for gaffs and gigs, maybe. Although, I mean, you know what? Let's be a little more serious than that. Okay. That might be considered throwing if I were to run the other option. Okay, I am gonna ready up. Let me swap it over to. Oh yeah, it's the Blazing Ramparts, not just Blazing Ramparts. I love OBS. It just does not like it when you swap windows sometimes, apparently. Anyways, I'm ready. We'll let Final Boss finalize the tally and the build, and then we'll just kick it off, and we'll just have a scrap to the death, I guess. It's gonna be a wild one, probably. I actually just realized I need to swap the build up a little bit, but it's not that big of a change. Just a small adjustment so that I don't end up being totally run over. You know, Nurgle is not like the easiest matchup in the world for Khorne. It can get a little tricky. There's definitely some stuff that Nurgle can throw out to kind of keep you on the back foot and mix things up. With the 5 Nurglings, Final Boss's biggest investment is really into the Lord. You know, 350 gold little popcorn bandits are a bit of an investment when you have to bring the max number, but they do, like I said, Vanguard onto the points early, and they can get quick caps, which could be a big problem for me. Once we start talking about the kind of summons that Nurgle can bring in behind the Nurglings, though, it's going to be a very standard army. While mine has got, you know, the most meta Lord, but has some very off-meta, at least at the current moment, like infantry, and then specialized like monstrous cav. The Heralds are just like categorically worse than Knights of the Brazen Throne, I find. I did a bunch of testing when the patch came out that buffed their HP, and I didn't find them to be any better. I still think, I mean, Skull Crushers were borderline viable after the HP buff. Skull Crushers are just actually a good unit. Not in every matchup, but there's a lot of matchups that they shine in. Bretonia being one of the coolest ones. Skull Crushers go wild against Bretonia. Some nice little skulls here. You can hear my guys. If you zoom in on the ground. Where are they? I guess they're like right here. You can hear all the bloodletters chanting, at least. Has some icky little forests over here. I love the fucked up trees in the corn realms. All of the maps that have like a corn-centric theme actually have fairly consistent designs, which is kind of cool. Kind of goes to show you that people really, you know, who love the game, do their homework about the aesthetics. I do really appreciate that. Here are my nasty little guys. We got the Bloodwake Berserkers, crazy strong unit. Really need them to perform here. Got a very small army. But similar number of units overall to Final Boss. He's got 19, I've got 18. The nice thing, I guess, here is that all of my high-quality units are front-loaded, so everything I'm summoning in from reserve are, you know, a little bit cheaper and on the more reactive side. I'm going to try and press quickly to probably go for the number 1 and 2. I could push the number 3, depending on what we end up seeing at a Nurgle. I might send a Marauder to the Forest over there. I do believe I'm going to have to maneuver fairly aggressively here. I don't think that holding a bunch of superfluous ground is really going to be the way to succeed in this matchup. I even send the... I'm going to actually keep the Bloodwake Berserkers over here. The Marauders can kind of start out on that side, even. Alright. Boss is ready, so let's get this going. Yeah, massive Vanguard force. You can see just a million bodies up on the points right out the gate. Oh, and the Angels of Decay are on the field instantly, so that's going to be a little bit dangerous. I have no defenses against the Horsemen right now, either. Go for these aggressive fights. We're gonna move up. We got Booger coming in. Managed to dodge it, thankfully. We're gonna try and dodge as much as possible here. Oh my god, those throwing axes are so accurate. Pretty brutal damage. We're gonna just pull back for the time being and try and pull the Angels of Decay a little bit deeper in. And get our infantry underfoot to start doing some work, I guess. Yeah, you got multiple Furies coming in. So let's just put the pedal to the metal here against the Angels of Decay and just get in and attack. So Marauders are going to sit on the point. Furies on the way in. Let's go attack his Furies and let's get Skull Taker moving. So the Angels are fighting my Furies. They're doing pretty good there. Oh man, the throwing axe is coming over to bully my poor guys there for a moment. Let's get the Furies over here. Let's get another Fury out and just go after these guys. And see what we can do to kill them potentially. Definitely a little scary. Those throwing axes are doing a number to me right now. It's a good retreat. We're going to try and pull back here. We got a really good charge off. We're going to pull back from here now. If we can just have the Angels of Decay running all game, then that'll be kind of nice for me. We're actually kind of ripping the Angels of Decay apart up top there, which is kind of huge, honestly. I don't think we're going to finish them, unfortunately. Although, are they... Oh my god, they hit demonic instability and they're going to crumble out. No freaking way, dude. That is so huge. Oh my god. Okay, let's go. Let's go. What have we got here? Throwing axes. Okay, since there's a bunch of throwing axes coming out, I do actually want the disruption from these flesh hounds. They're going to be kind of huge here. Let's dive down on the back. Let's get our Exalted Bloodletters over so they can actually do some work. Definitely taking some damage here, which is not ideal. It's going to be a really nice stream of corruption, but we did get the kill here and get another group of flesh hounds out. I think we just pull back. I mean, we've crumbled out like all of this cap weight here, which is pretty massive. We got rot flies on the way in, which is kind of cool. Definitely don't see them too terribly often. That's a huge blob of stuff over there. Let's dodge away from these rot flies and let's bring them to the ground. Because we can actually kill them here if they charge me. We've got the double cap, so Kugath can just sit in the middle and sit and spin if he wants to, I guess. That's gonna go pretty poorly for him. Got some more damage on the way in with my hounds, just killing all the rot flies. We just need to hang on to points for now, I guess. I mean, really not much else to do. Let's just pull away. Let's get my own throwing axes out now. Just abandon the middle point, and then we're going to go after this. Got like a handful of these dudes left. What's going on with this flesh hound? It's like kind of stuck in here. That's not good. I think I just keep these guys fighting and hope that they can actually win or something. We'll just take the fight in the air for now and get what damage we can. We're gonna like rotate around. Let's get some throwing axes onto Kugath here for the time being. I think we do want a Minotaur or something. I think that could be nice for me. We're gonna just buff all this stuff up with my horn. Make sure that we grab this point, and we'll pull the Exalted Bloodletters over now.
Tidings. The enemy has captured one of your victory points. Take it
We
back.
are killing quite a few of these horsemen, actually, which is massive. Being able to run down the Marauder Horsemen now will be a huge dub for me. Pull these guys back over. Let's get Skulltaker away from the big icky man. I honestly don't want to fight Kugath if I can help it. There's Plague Ogres on the way in. Anti-infantry Plague Ogres, which means it's time for Minotaurs. Let's get my horsemen out there to go after these guys. And we'll have the, my ROR unit just kind of sit there and do what they can to hold, and we're going to make sure we don't get rear charged by the Plague Ogres, so I'm going to have the Hounds kind of pull back and out, and then we're going to go after these guys with all of this stuff. We're still holding on to the middle. We're stopping Kugath's momentum, which is the most important thing I can do right now. Get another throwing axe up. We got Pestigores on the way in, which are going to be kind of scary and intimidating. We're all over the Plague Ogres, though. We've got a good fight here. We're going to debuff the Plague Ogres as well. And let's go slap them up and get the Bloodwake Berserkers into a proper scrap here. So I could use these Minos to intercept Kugath for the time being. And get my horsemen out there and keep chasing. We're going to keep the Bloodwake Berserkers in the fight here. And we've ground down the Plague Ogres very quickly. They have gotten smacked up damn quick, which is amazing for me. Let's get these guys out here to keep going. We're gonna just keep the pressure up on my opponent's units here. Oh, and the Furies are gonna actually land on the Minotaurs, which is an interesting choice. I mean, I guess it's like decent damage and all. It's really not that bad. Just keep chasing these guys. Let's get Skull Taker back here to just help out the Minos. They actually take quite a bit of damage. Which is definitely a bit of a problem, but we got a fresh one that I can send out now. Let's just run away from Kugath. He's not allowed to play. He's not allowed to play with us. He's too big and he's too stinky. There's really no other way of putting it. We just can't be nice about it. You know, we gotta set firm boundaries with this greater demon of Nurgle. You know. Sorry, buddy. I didn't make the rules. I didn't make you smelly. That was you and your Lord of Choice. We could bring out a Flesh Hound. These Flesh Hounds I've got left are very beat up, so we're just playing footsie with Big Boy. We're gonna keep whittling him down, and then we'll figure out what to do from there. Then come the Angels of Decay, which I don't super want to deal with right now. It's a good summon for sure, but I think I've got the tools to be able to handle them again. Because I'm gonna double summon out Chaos Furies here. Wow, that's crazy damage. Oof. Holy crap, my throwing axes get shredded there. Jeez Louise. We'll get a third Fury out in a moment here. Because, yeah, you can see my opponent summoning up some Furies. You play defensively with mine. We'll turn around so that Skull Taker doesn't get punched in the face. Bloodwake Berserkers can move in. We'll get another Fury out, and we're gonna go in.
Nothing restrains me. Execution is my special ability.
And we're just gonna buff up these Furies in the sky as much as possible. I mean, they either like kill the Angels here, or they leave them so beat up that they are not gonna be very effective. Either or is acceptable for me. Bloody Onslaught also lasts for frickin' ages, dude. It is such a long duration. It's what, 30-something seconds? Yeah, 38 freaking seconds, dude. That is ages in this game. Get these guys out of the water. We've got our deterrent force here. We're taking down more Furies. Angry swarms of disgusting, wicked demons. Definitely making a big difference for me. I think the throwing axes ended up losing their nerve and routing there, or terror routing, I should say specifically. Korngor, not really needed. Honestly, the Flesh Hounds aren't a bad call-in, but let's just get some elite infantry, why not? Kath is so lost out here, man. He's getting damage for sure. I mean, he's like getting value with his boogers, but they're just not all that threatening in the grand scheme of things. 2,000 value on Kugath is really not that good. Ow. we'll just get out of here. Skulltaker doesn't need to get shot up right now. He doesn't need to fight Kugath either. We've got a winning formula. We're just winding out the triple cap now.
One of your units has been destroyed.
We bring ruin.
We're just gonna end up running into a whole bunch of stuff I don't want to actually end up impacting with. You know what? Let's just let's go beat up Kugath. Actually, let's just collapse on him from every angle here and see if we can kill him for the style points. Actually get a good engagement. We're gonna pop Bloody Onslaught on him as well. And you can see he gets Fleshy Abundance off, which is great and all, but not going to save him from my very aggressive force here that's just got him completely surrounded. We're also going to pop a Horn of Corn here. See 70 melee attack on these Minotaurs right now. And Kugath's having a really awful time. Poor guy, man. Ah, you get a nice money shot of him, like, vomiting guts up on everybody. Angel's got some okay value. My Exalted Bloodletters were useless. They really didn't do anything. Heralds were also not super strong. I didn't really feel like my units were doing a whole lot, but the throwing axes, the two throwing axes, got 1,900 and 1,300 in terms of value. The Furies went crazy. Fleshhounds were also pretty nuts. And the Minotaurs actually did do a lot. A lot of it was there at the end, but they were a very effective turn back now, mortals, all ye who enter despair kind of unit. I think Rotting Riders would have been a better summon than the Barons of the Bog. When I saw the Barons of the Bog coming in, I just pulled my Bloodletters back and then got a really good jump on those guys while they were out of position from the rest of the supporting army and was able to pull them apart, which was a massive win. From there, Nurgle just kind of ran out of steam on the ground, and then Boss didn't have enough supplies to be able to contest the ground, contest the air, and also still have the throwing axes kept safe all at the same time. And I was able to get just enough of a value trade against the throwing axes to kind of put them on the run in the late game. That was a big dub. Bosses in Discord here saying he didn't think that the Corn Furies did so well against the Angels of Decay, which is kind of shocking, but what I'm about to type is seriously the truth. Corn Furies really do beat just about anything in the air. Oh, plus Bloody Onslaught, that was an important part of the equation, but if you just swarm aerial units with Corn Furies, if they actually get engaged onto those air targets, Furies are disgustingly strong against flyers. They really do shred them. Angels of Decay are usually strong enough to be able to survive engagements against Furies by themselves. It's just when there's multiples attacking them, the models are pretty big, they get surrounded by the Furies, and they take a ton of damage from Furies that they don't get to use their melee defense against. Honestly, poor Nurgle indeed. Skulltaker into Kugath has always been a pretty good matchup for Khorne. It used to be that if Khorne wanted to beat Kugath, you needed to, you either needed to run Karanak or Scarbrand and just kite him around, kind of similar to what I did there, but this matchup was a little bit different, obviously, because there's a bunch of required units that I wouldn't normally bring. But Kugath versus Skulltaker. Skulltaker can actually beat Kugath in a head-to-head if he just has a little bit of support underneath him, like a Minotaur or the Bloodwake Berserkers, usually enough to take down Kugath. I still wouldn't really recommend tangling with Kugath in melee combat, just because of the Mortis engine. But you can actually get up in his face and take him down. Okay, let's go look at bracket and see where we're at there. Get off of the Discord and go take a little peeky poo over here. Oh, Broccoli is actually playing Rowdy there. We are probably going to be playing Seepa. Rogue AI is good enough to get an upset win there, though. Seepa is just such a good player. That's why I'm thinking that he'll probably end up winning that game. I've never actually played him, but yeah, he actually ended up getting through. We might as well report our score. And let me go remind people to drop me the replays. Carl will not be happy. You know what? I mean, he is the Supreme Patriarch. I'm sure that Franz is going to give him at least one... he's going to give him one, you fucked up, but I trust you still, you know? Alright. So. Let's go find our Dark Elf Overlord. I really don't see this going well. Malekith is a really tough lord to fight already for Khorne. Add into the fact that the Dark Elves are just a crazy good faction. Have a very, very, very favorable matchup against Khorne, especially. And I'm not really looking forward to this. It's going to be pretty terrifying. We'll see if we can get an upset here, though. Bring Cloak of Skulls. I think it's a good idea. If we get it activated, it's going to be so clutch. Definitely save our ass. I just don't know what I'm going to do against whatchamacallits. I'm not blanking on it. Scourge Runner Chariots. Jeez Louise. Scourge Runner Chariots are going to be a real pain, man. You're going to suck to have to fight. Maybe I can do something with the double skull cannon, though. It's been a while since I've run this. It's definitely not the army layout that I like for it, but it might work out for me. I've got some stuff that can deter landings from Malekith at the very least, and maybe I'll get some good damage off on the Scourge Runners as they're trying to close the gap. That could be the ticket for a win here. just off, so... 1 throwing axe? Honestly, Minotaurs into the Dark Elves have been kind of bad in my experience. Maybe we do this. Go Blood Beasts, because Blood Beasts are quicker. They still throw out good damage, and maybe we just play on the points as much as possible with the Corn Gores. It's maybe the way I go about this. Don't know what I'm prioritizing here in terms of items. Sweet Navigator hitting us up with one of the replays here. What's Seepa saying? Oh, and Seepa also sent his replay in. Hell yes. We banned Scalandiers. No way I can contend mobility on that map against the Dark Elves. That'll just be misery. I really don't want to suffer that hard. Damn. Sorry, just seeing some news stuff that's going on back home in Alabama, where I'm from. Not good news, of course. God forbid there should be good news in America right now. I mean, for fuck's sake. Anyways. So, we've banned out Scalandiers. We'll see what Seepa is going to ban. I would imagine probably wants to play on, I don't know about Sunken Mire. Probably on, like, Glade of the Everqueen and Proving Grounds. Or perhaps Whirling Maelstrom. I think Proving Grounds might be a pretty tough map for the Dark Elves. There's a lot of tree cover there. Our Whirling Maelstrom is on the table. Glade of the Everqueen is on the table. We'll just go ahead and ban Glade. See what our opponent's going to pick for between the last two maps. Here's the bans as they stand right now. If none of y'all have watched Seepa play before, this is going to be a treat for you guys. I have never actually had Seepa play on or shown any of his games before. Outside of a couple in the last Legendary Lords tournament. Okay, we're going to play on Whirling Maelstrom. That's going to be rough, dude. Whirling Maelstrom is not going to be an easy map to fight the Dark Elves on. I'll slap that on my boy here. We got our motorcycles ready to go. We'll just have to see how this works out, man. Dark Elves will try to close on us pretty quickly, I imagine. At the very least with, like, the Scourge Runner Corps. And whatnot. I think the way to do this is summon out Corngors first, just to try and hold objectives, and then bring out some, throwing axes. By, the idea behind me not bringing throwing axes in the beginning is just down to a design philosophy kind of standpoint with the way that Khorne's units work. One sec, guys. Give me a sec, I'll be right back. Our turn. Anyways, the reason I'm not bringing throwing axes in first is just because Khorne doesn't have an advantage in the skirmish game with them. They're too short range. They oftentimes just get the absolute crap beat out of them. I'd rather have the skull cannons here to try and do actual damage and be more of a genuine deterrent to my opponent. Probably just focus on the... I guess we do just focus up around the tree line here. Maybe the low ground here could work for us. Let's actually start with these two units off to the side here. What the hell is going on with them? These guys hide in trees? No, of course they can't. They're too cool. Oh, no, they are able to hide. How are they not hidden? There we go. Let me flip over before I forget, guys. I know I'm playing a dangerous game here. I got it, I promise, I promise. There is a delay on stream, by the way, guys, so... Oh, fucking hell. Ew. Yeah... This is gonna be really rough. Holy crap. Okay. There's actually a bunch of Dark Rider repeater crossbows here. I long for the days where skull cannons were actually good against skirmish cav. They are honestly uniquely terrible nowadays. They really don't hold up. They're quite weak, in fact. So we're gonna need to get in Flesh Hounds, or we're just gonna lose immediately because the repeater crossbows are gonna just shoot us to bits, honestly. Let's get up here. Let's get these guys running. Let's maneuver out. Let's just run away here. Get another Flesh Hound on the field. We'll go melee mode as threat. Promise of great violence and fury if we can actually close the ground here. Malekith wants to come and tangle with us, which is kind of cool. Pull out over here. Let's go over here. Let's come out and go run these guys down. Let's go attack these guys. We'll hit the Cold One Knights as hard as possible here. I'm gonna get the debuff going. See what we can do. That's a really nice Soul Stealer. We just need to pull out with Skull Taker for the moment. Where's my stuff over here? It's not going bad, actually. Okay. Let's get some Furies over. See what they can do, I guess. Let's attack these guys. These Dark Riders. Yup. See if we can get the Skull Cannons out. See if we can get a catch on some of these Dark Riders. It's been absolute hell trying to catch any of these things. These guys are going to come from the backside and get some damage in. And get up in the air. Fleshhounds are going to take the engagement. We're going to go to and land on those guys. Skull Cannons are going to just keep maneuvering and attacking as best they can. Let's kill this K-Knight Assassin, I guess. I don't know what the hell we're doing here. It's a little scary. I mean, Seepa's micro is just so freaking good, man. I'm not really having a good time catching much of anything, honestly. This is what happens when your opponent just pays attention. They give you the runaround, dude. I mean, the Dark Elves are just so nasty and duplicitous as a faction. They're just ridiculously tough to actually lock down and keep in a position where you can genuinely kill any of their units.
One of your units?
I really should get some Khorngors in. They would be my best option for actually killing some of these units right now. Got some fights going on here, which is nice. Running down some Dark Riders. We got another Dark Rider here that we're killing. Let's go attack the Medusa with our boy. Let's go attack over here. Now we'll get some Khorngors up. Just because the Skirmish Cav has actually lost a decent amount of its ammunition. One Skull Cannon's going to go down here. Not great. Let's attack. Keep attacking. I mean, a bit of a win out here, I guess. Let's get in there. See if we can get out of here. Those, Witch Elves are rampaging, which is the scary thing. I want to try and avoid them tearing me apart if I can. Got those guys shooting me. We've got Malekith still attacking my Skull Cannon. Let's try and get the Skull Cannon to do literally anything right now. I don't care what it is. Just any amount of damage would be nice at the current moment in time. See these damn Cold One chariots like riding in behind me and ripping my units up pretty bad. Let's attack these Dark Riders. Let's get some, oh, we need to actually go take that point, don't we? Not taking that point, definitely a whoopsie on my part. Get some kills here. Bounce out to the other side and see what we can do. Skull Cannon is on the way out, it does appear. It is not doing too hot.
My
Okay. Just from the Dark Riders for the time being. Got some good fights going off over here. Let's rally over and attack these guys. We're actually killing off the Dark Rider repeater crossbows over here for the time being. That's nice. Let's just go do what we can against this Medusa, I guess. I mean, the heck else am I supposed to do at this stage? We'll get a throwing axe up now. We're gonna cap this, and then we'll go attack the middle there. Let's dodge some shots. Pop some debuffs. Yeah, the flesh hounds are gonna crumble out. I will actually use this on these guys for the time being. Okay, that's going nice. We'll get another corn gore out. We've got a nice objective lead right now. Okay, and just get in there and do something, I guess. Yeah, the surround on my poor Marauder Horseman is probably going to be my death sentence here. Skulltaker also hasn't really gotten any value to speak of. It's just been a slow whittling down of my army. Yeah, that catch there is really brutal. Sipa got me here. We stayed fairly competitive at the very least. But yeah, Skulltaker's gonna crumble out here. He's done what he can. Ah! Big ouch, dude. You just can't contest all the mobility. There's too many mobile units that the Dark Elves can swarm you with, and man, the Exalted Bloodletters are just not it, dude. Not defensible enough. I got 1200 on one of them, which is nice. I got decent value out of the Heralds. The Skull Cannons. God, I wish they could just kill. I wish they could kill Dark Riders like they used to be able to. There was once a time where the Skull Cannons were a good answer to Skirmish Cav. They got changed to be good at the anti-infantry role, even better than they already were, which is a huge mistake. And now they're just kind of terrible in the kite matchups. That was a great game on Sipa's part. No freebies, no nothing. That game. That's how you beat Khorne. Maybe if I had just gone for the throwing axes, that would have been the way to go. I really was expecting more damage out of the chariots, though. I did also forget that the Cold One chariots were a requirement for Malekith. The bumper car build didn't quite work out. That's okay, though. Nah, Khorne's pretty peeved. he's more irritated at the Dark Elves, though. He's happy that Skulltaker was doing his very best to find engagements and fights, but there were just none to be had there that I could thrive in. In the same way that I was kiting around Kugath, ended up being how we got taken advantage of there. Let me get replays for everybody so that we can start going through them all. So do have quite a few. Will be very interesting to see how SEPA clutched it out against the Wood Elves. Wood Elves are one of the factions that can counter Kite against the Dark Elves. So I would very much love to know how SEPA was able to avoid the runaround long enough to be able to win that game. Also, what kind of engagements we might have seen. What the hell is this? Oh, these are all from yesterday. All the ones I just downloaded. So I got 2 here. Let me go get the others. Apparently I did not download all the ones that I thought I did. There is still 1 Khorne Acolyte left in this tournament, guys. Not all is lost for the Blood God. Broccoli Fangirl is rocking Arball. And she is an excellent player, so hopefully she has a little bit more luck than I did. You know, please replace that, because I don't see that in here. Oh, there it is. The Mao. Oh, baby. What the hell is this? Wicked build, though, for real, on Gelt's side. Hellstorm Rocket Battery and the Templehof Luminarch is a, that's a statement. It's a power statement right there, guys. I mean, that's going to be a pretty good force for attempting snipes, for sure. Arball can definitely get shot up pretty badly. By the Templehof Luminarch, it does massive damage. Just because he has some missile resistance does not mean he would survive more than 2 or 3 blows from that thing. It's like a truck, I mean... Shoots fairly quick. Every 9 seconds is no joke. It's kind of terrifying that the Death Star super laser is basically mounted on this chariot. Let's see this guy. What is he holding? He's got like a Palantir in his hand. We've got Empire Peter Thiel over here apparently. He almost looks like Peter Thiel too. If anybody doesn't know who that is, just look him up and you can find out how much of a psycho he really is. One of the many fun billionaires who's basically taken over the United States government during these last few election cycles. It's pretty terrible. Anyways, Marauders, Chaos Warriors, a Gorbeast Chariot, which is kind of a cool choice, and Warhounds. Warhounds. Very nice unit for catching stuff like Pistoliers at a very inexpensive premium. See Arball getting hit there. The Templehof Luminarch does actually land its first shot against him. That resistance, saving his bacon for sure. But second shot coming in now. Arball is going to eat it right on the nose. Down to 3,900 HP after 2 shots from that thing. Wicked damage. Empire Knights are a little out of position here, actually. The Furies do get a decent little dive on the crew, but the mass from the Empire Knights does push the Furies back a little bit. Now the Furies go back in for the dive on this second attempt. And here we have Fury ripping the Pistoliers apart. This is why Furies are so good. Literally, I mean, if your opponent is not SEPA and they fumble for even a second and the Furies get on top of their skirmish units, dead. Really nice dive attempt at the Hounds, but an even better net of Amatok right before they close the gap. Hellstorm Rocket Battery crew, though, is taking a lot of damage, and that Empire Knight is not clearing the Furies out quickly enough. More Warhounds, more Furies, just a bazillion quick, zippy and zappy type of units. Attacking everything in the back line, basically. You've got some spearmen that are routing here in the middle. Arball with 21 value, whopping 21 value performance from him. Nice Searing Doom on the head of these Chaos Warriors, getting some good damage. And a beautiful Fury of the Blood God, absolutely chunking down the Great Swords and the Spearmen, and actually getting the low enough that Khorne is able to get a huge break on the infantry formation in the middle. Everything that the Empire has here in the center is broken and routing at the worst possible moment. Warhounds are continuing to muck up the works in the back line. Gorebeast's Chariot with some decent value. I haven't even noticed it doing the work, but 700 value on is honestly pretty decent. Marauders beating up on Spearmen. Very easy win for the Khornate Marauders. They just love chunking down these crappy Empire State Troopers. They feast on their souls. Khorne Marauders are so strong. They are an exceptionally powerful unit, but very vulnerable to stuff like this. Excellent control on these Empire Knights, and they get a beautiful rear charge on the Marauders. But Broccoli with an excellent punish in response, bringing forward the Furies. You might think Empire Knights, 110 armor, Furies, really not going to do much to them, right? Nah, the armor-piercing weapon strength from these things is just enough. With the 44 melee attack, they really shred through Empire Knights, as long as they aren't the sole focus of the Knights themselves. Gorebeast's Chariot is having a field day right now. It's running all over the State Troopers. It's got 130 kills, actually. Amazing work by it. And very beat-up Furies in the sky, but they can definitely charge in and get a little bit of extra value. I'd just hard commit onto the handgunners here, honestly. Or just use the Furies to continue flying overhead and keep all these units routing. You can see the Empire is nothing to cap points, except for a very lonely Empire Knight on the other side of the field. Don't really have a lot of supplies as Broccoli right now. Yeah, just summoning another Khorne Gore out here to keep up the pressure. See how healthy the Khorne infantry is. Like, no damage on these Chaos Warriors right now. Arval's army requirements are honestly pretty nice. You get some very flexible options. And a lot of those options are some of the more defensible and high-quality units that the Khorne roster has. You get the option of Chaos Warriors, and I believe it's you have to bring a Gorebeast's Chariot or Wrathmongers. Either or is a pretty good option against the Empire. The Wrathmongers obviously a little bit immobile, so I do like the choice of the Gorebeast's Chariot here instead. Got 1,000 value, mucking up the works. Arbal eats another shot. He really hasn't gotten much value, but there's not much for Arbal to feast against. He'd love to go kill Balthazar, but Commissar with some really good micros just had him running around. This is a terrible spot to be in as the Empire. You're literally getting spawn camped back here by the Bloodletter summon from the Cultists. Cultists have been very disruptive up to this point, and I love the inclusion of Icon of Endless War to keep them sauced up on their vigor. As long as they're in melee combat, they get vigor reduction and leadership, which basically guarantees them a critical amount that they need to just run through and stay fresh the entire game and continue to chip stuff down. That was a beautiful Sword of Khorne. We got the Bloodletters rampaging through the backline of the Empire. Can't tell you how many times this matchup ends up like this for the Empire. With really well-played pressure from Khorne, though. That is an important caveat. You can play very aggressive as Khorne and peter out against Empire Kite, but Broccoli with just so many Hounds and Furies, and then excellent, steady advancing from the Chaos Warriors has made all the difference here. Templehof Luminarch with 1,000 value, but the Khorne Gores have been tearing it apart for the last few seconds. Excellent unit to be able to take this big old beastie down. And we've got more guys down here. Look at the poor Sterling's Revenge, dude. Oh my god. This guy looks badass, though. He looks so angry. He's like, I may be dying for the Empire today, but I'm gonna take down some of these abominations from the warp, for sure with me. Got taken off. Oof. Flying through the air there. Great Swords, just, you know, trying to hold off the Bloodletter summon, but that's just such a nice engagement for that Bloodletter summon, man. Being able to summon the Bloodletters into your opponent's backline just to attack their grounded missile troops is pretty goated. makes the cultists an auto-include in quite a few matchups. Very good against dwarves, very good against Empire, very good against a handful of other factions. Chaos dwarves, they're decent against. Anything of that caliber. Great build, great execution from Khorne here. Yeah, the Hellstorm only got 200 value, just didn't get to shoot, man. It got flown over by the Furies and then dived on, and that was just game over for the Hellstorm. Chaos Warriors didn't get much value, but look how healthy they are at the end game, and that's definitely both of the two that started out on the battlefield, because there's none in reserve. So they got 400 and 300 value and took no HP damage, basically. Pretty goated, or at the very least, they didn't lose that many models. They took HP damage, but the end battle screens show you that they didn't actually lose that many dudes in their units. Arball with only 500 value, but he did get a super fat Fury of the Blood God off, which probably got him about 250 of that value. And yeah, look at the Blood Beast spam. Ah, love it. Blood Beasts aren't very good if you're just doing 1 or 2. If you're doing 4 Blood Beasts, though, 4 Blood Beasts against all of the Empire Knights is just disgusting. Because the Blood Beasts are super jacked rat ogres, basically. And if you've ever played Skaven, you know how good rat ogres are at beating up on heavy cav. Just imagine that, but, like, maybe twice as strong, I would say. Blood Beasts can do some wicked, nasty stuff. Just talking to Seepa. Seepa offered to let me spectate, but as much as I want to do live games for y'all, I don't trust the peer-to-peer anymore. It's been kind of funky this patch, and I'd rather just avoid it if possible so that we can get our games in without having to worry about any issues. Just spec all the replays, and then we'll move from there. With that dominant of a showing against one of the best Empire players out there, Commissar is, Commissar, Melkor, Blood Penguin are probably the 3 best players. I would say Blood Penguin is the best, but after that, Commissar and Melkor are both excellent players with very, very strong micro. Kind of cool to see Navigator playing Empire. I know he has them in his wheelhouse, but isn't really known for the game style that they utilize. He plays a lot of Chaos Dowie, typically. Guess we'll just go through it in order then. So we got Maximilianaire on the old standby. Maxi is a Vampire Count's main. Second to only Scrambled Egg special. But, hey, being second behind Scrambled is absolutely no biggie. Because Scrambled is just cracked. Like, crazy good player. He's very flexible and skilled with all the factions. And Maximilian is just behind him, I would say, in terms of skill level on the Vampire Counts. So, that's about as scary of an opponent as you're going to find anyways. Navi has Elspeth here on horseback, Fata Buna, and Spirit Leech. Fata Buna is a lot less good than it used to be, and I've actually seen Purple Son of Xerius get a lot of use as of late. I think, though, it will be a good call against the Hex Wraiths. Hex Wraiths obviously have tons of Phys Res and can be a pretty nasty unit. I mean, they've got some weaknesses for sure. Just the lack of armor is kind of a problem for these ethereal type units, but the Hex Wraiths have a decent HP pool compared to most ethereals. The Fata Buna can get healed up by a couple of invos. I would say. That'd be the way to go about this, just to keep them alive. So, we'll see how Elspeth manages her, WOM here. White Kings are on horseback, which is always a good call if you have Heinrich Kemmler as your lord. He's going to have to be very careful. The Luminarch up here is going to get a really nice early shot off, potentially. Oh, but switches targets over to the Hex Wraiths. Hex Wraiths lose a couple of... What the hell is that? What just happened? I'm going to have to go back and watch that. This seems like it might be a bit of a weird bug. Like, he was targeting the White King and then swapped targets to the Hex Wraiths, but then the shot didn't come out, but the Hex Wraiths still lost models? Question mark? What killed those 3 Hex Wraiths earlier? It had to have been the Lumen. That's so weird. It seemed like there was some kind of missile bug going on there. Anyway, zombies moving forward. The Unholy Lodestones are moving forward. I'm not talking about the Vampire Count's army too much. It's a lot of the usual stuff. Other than the Kieran Race and the Hex Race, it's just like zombies and Lodestones. So nothing too shocking to see here. Nolan Ironsides get a great volley off on the White Kings, but we're going to get a really good zombie summon to lock these Ironsides down. You're also probably going to see, yeah, the Scab Scrates nailing the Sigmar Sons. Huge damage going down on those poor guys. Nasty work against them. Hexoites get hit by the Fate of Buna. Definitely suffering the ill effects of that spell cast. Just making sure that I'm actually swapped over the way I'm supposed to. Good charge the Vargeist, finding the Knights of the Blazing Sun in the open field as they're a little bit immobile. And really jumping on those guys to get some good damage off. And Hex Wraiths pushing up into the back line. And a beautiful timing on that invo. What excellent timing. From the magic cast, you get all of your Vargeist, and you hit the Hex Wraiths with it at the same time as they're just passing by. That's impressive control, honestly. Really nice net of Ammontok. The Outrider grenade launchers are going to get away here and be able to throw some damage down for sure. And the Knights of the Blazing Sun are going to crumble out the already battered Hex Wraith that got hit by the Fate of Buna. Only 500 value on that unit. Definitely not what you're looking for. And you've got Knights of the Black Rose and Knights of the Blazing Sun going to be splitting here. Knights of the Black Rose are going to move to the front line and try and knock over some of these annoying undead units. Well, the Knights of the Blazing Sun are going to stay aggressive against the Hex Wraiths. 2 Pistoliers come out with some protection now. And they could definitely poke away at these Hex Wraiths. It'd be a pretty good time for them just to be able to hit these dudes as they're trying to run around and stay on their toes. Can also poke against the Vargeist really effectively. 10 armor on the Vargeist makes them very weak to the Pistolier fire, who are honestly shockingly accurate and quick firing as well. Knights of the Blazing Sun get jumped by the Vargeist. Great damage there. Maximilianaire breaking open the frontline position. Terror routes going down as the Kieran Wraiths are just rampaging through this frontline position. Hex Wraiths are going to be going offline with another Fate of Buna. Brutal damage. You can see that it is sauced up because of the Pale Scythe spell mastery effect. It would have one-shot a full health Hex Wraith at that point, probably. Maybe a little bit overkill on those guys. Maybe using that on the Kieran Wraiths would be nice, because the Kieran Wraiths are causing a lot of problems. Leadership is really abysmal right now for the poor Empire. They do have a small value lead, but that's going to be very lopsided in reality. There's been a lot of healing from Heinrich Kemmler. He's got that Chaos Tomb Blade. He's gotten some really good invos off. And multiple Vargeists on the field is a scary sight. One does go down over here with some good focus fire from the Pistoliers. Countercharges from the Knights of the Black Rose, and the Templehof Luminarch is just trying to get free. It really wants to shoot these horsebound characters. Oh no, this is going to be GG for Navia, I think. Yeah, oh, Elspeth is just so caught here. There's no way she's going to be able to get away from the Vargeist and the White Kings and Heinrich Kemmler now. Plus, you've got Kemmler in combat, so he's going to get that really nice heal per second effect active from the Chaos Tomb Blade. Elspeth actually is able to wheel out of there. She finds a little gap and gets free, but takes a brutal swing from Heinrich Kemmler, of all people. You know, Kemmler really isn't terrible in melee combat. He's definitely weak, but against a similarly vulnerable horsebound character, you can see Elspeth just getting bullied right now. Down to 300 HP. She gets hit one more time. She's 100% dead here. She actually gets hit and shatters. Oh, that's it. I don't see any way for the Empire to get back in this one. Maxi is going to be taking a dub here. Good tap out from Navigator. That's painful to have happen to you, but such is the way of life. This was a very fun game from Maxi. Excellent pressure with the Hex Wraiths. The Hex Wraiths did die. It didn't get a lot of value, but those Cairn Wraiths cleaned up that front line in no time flat. It gave a very clean and easy win for the Vampire Counts on that middle objective. 236 kills on one of them. The value doesn't look incredible, but the terror routes were the important part. It just broke up the frontline formation for the Empire, and then all of the skirmishing elements were getting some decent value, but it just wasn't overwhelming enough, right? The White Kings were dropping Scab Scraiths. They got some pretty decent value. Heinrich Kemmler got 1,000 value and was getting a lot of healing done. A lot of the zombies you can see were still available for the late game. And then you just had Vargeist going wild, man. 1,200 on the one that went down in the late game there, but still got its value back, plus a little extra, and the other two were well on their way to paying for themselves. Cryptars probably would have been the next few summons out, then backed up by Crypt Ghouls out of the Vanguard. It would have been too much for the Empire to handle, especially without Elspeth. She got 1,600 value herself, which is nice. I think maybe going for her on the Dragon would have been better than the Luminarch, but I do believe that the Luminarch is required for her. Kind of funny that we've seen it from both of the Empire players in round one, and they both ended up losing because it just couldn't get any shots off and accrue value. Give yourself some credit, Commissar. Dude, seriously, okay, you've played like 4 games this month, but whenever I've spectated you, you've done excellently with them, so I have watched enough games. I feel very confident in standing on business by proclaiming you, like, at the very least, a top 5 Empire player, man. Facing Sepa Dark Elves. It is what it is. I got some rough matchups in all the Legendary Lord tournaments, but that's like the fun of this format. You don't know what you're going to get. You're going to have some less than optimal units, and it's all about making plays with them and trying to get those, trying to just gut out W's, right? Had to bring 2 handgunners, Hellstorm, Pistoliers. If it was on me, I would bring 4 wagons. Yeah, 4 wagons is definitely a go-to for the Empire. It's a bit of a shame that some of those other skirmish tools of the Empire get overshadowed by war wagons, because Pistoliers really are a good unit. They're fun. They get good value, very hard to shut down. They honestly hit like a truck against other skirmish cav and even against big monsters, so if it weren't for the fact that war wagons do all that and more, you would probably see them on a more regular basis. No freaking way. Okay, final boss is giving us a bit of a spoiler for the bracket, but I don't even mind because it's amazing news. I'm very, very excited to get to that as we go along. Alright, you know what? We'll go. You know what? We'll go and we'll play out the finals. We'll spectate the finals live. Let me back out of this one, and we'll get back to all these other replays, and we'll see how the games played out. Charx versus Boss Toss. Charx has been killing it with what I think is actually one of the worst Legendary Lords, not because, like, Orion is bad, but just because the hero core is so expensive. And you also have to bring the Wild Hunters of Kurnus. So you got Ariel, Orion, and the Wild Hunters as the starting army for Charix, and he was killing it in all the games I saw. No, don't worry about it, boss. It's literally not an issue at all. You know, this is a hot take, guys, but, you know, spoilers for some stuff, like, if you got the Sixth Sense spoiled for you, like, that sucks, but most of the time, spoilers for me are really not a bother at all. For me, it's all about the actual, it's all about the actual plot to movies, how things actually play out. That's the interesting part to me. Just let them know. I don't know if they've kicked it off. Doesn't look like it, so we'll get in here and we'll spectate our finals match. It looks like it's going to be Charix and Broccoli Fangirl. Which is super exciting. We've got Khorne versus Wood Elves. She's just hovering on Bretonnia for now. Let's look at this Bretonnia army. Yeah, that's high quality Bretonnia right there. It's only 3,000 gold over the limit. I am curious what a prophetess with life magic can do. Especially with maybe a wider army. I mean, you could maybe work on something like this and get some good value out of it. What is she on? Whatever, it doesn't matter. We'll get away from it for the time being. Looks like they're settling in on Zarnagrund Rebellion for the finals map, potentially. Discord is tripping out. I don't know why it's messed up suddenly. I'm going to have to re-download it and fix it, I guess. Super bizarre. Okay, now we're on Halls of Carrick Doom. I don't know what they're going to end up settling on. Let me just bring y'all over for the time being so that y'all can see. Here, the finals are kicking off now, so they got Chateau, Halls, Zarnagrund, Imperial Road, and Dusted Steppe as the options for the maps, and it does appear that Zarnagrund Rebellion, at the very least, has been banned. They were debating on it earlier. Seems like they picked away from it at the very least. For Khorne, Halls would be a really good Khorne map. I've actually won against Scrambled Egg in a finals game on that map with Khorne. There's a lot of shot blockers to play around, which is awesome for Hellfort's Bellowers and for Lords to hide from missiles. I would definitely be trying to ban that if I were Charix. I wouldn't want to play against the Blood God here, personally. But maybe Charix has some way around this. Last time these two played was in the Legendary Lords tournament, and Charix was able to win the match. It was fairly close. I'm curious to see what kind of adjustments Broccoli is going to be bringing to the table here. Because I would be shocked if she brings the same stuff that she brought last time. There's probably going to be a bit of an adjustment in terms of the unit composition. Okay, maybe they're back on... I guess they're back on Zarna Grund now. Alright. If this ends up being the map that they run this game on, Wood Elves are going to have a big advantage here, because this map is so open. Let me actually go see... Let me go get the, Let me go get the map Google Doc opened. Runataki have it for his tournament? Yeah, baby. Okay. So here's what Zarna Grund looks like. It's kind of ironic that the units that Tom loaded in is the Wood Elves, so that you can show off the map. You can see it's crazy big. It is one of the larger maps, and this one is one of the large maps where people actually play the whole battlefield. There is a long ridge. There are home objectives, but they're fairly hard to defend, actually. You can play very aggressively across the field on this map. You can go pretty much anywhere and everywhere that you please if you've got the mobility elements. Which I think, of course, is going to favor the Wood Elves. But Khorne does have good stuff. I mean, you got Fleshhounds, Furies, Forsaken are pretty quick. They're able to shut down a lot of access for Wood Elf mobility. Wood Elves do have some really wicked archers to punish Forsaken, though, which is the scary thing. And Charix's micro is pretty unparalleled. So things that might work against other people are potentially going to be a vulnerability for Charix to exploit. Which is one of the reasons why guys like Seepa and Charix are the top players, because they just never slip up. Or if they do, it is an exceptionally rare circumstance. And oftentimes it's just a scheme of theirs that they're trying to force a fight and sucker you in for a killing blow. Let me message Broccoli. Let me swap back. I'm gonna take a sneak peek at the builds, guys. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's scary. Cool units on the Khorne side, and, I mean, cool units and units that you, you know, very often do see against the Wood Elves. And the Wood Elf army has definitely got some, interesting mix-ups here. Alright, Broccoli's locked in, ready to go, and tear it up, hopefully. Charix ready's up with her as well, so we're just going to kick it off nice and quick into the finals here. Showdown begins. It's awesome to see Khorne in the finals. I'm just so, I'm so afeared for their odds of winning this one. A lot of Chaos Warriors, the Silver Shields. We'll see how that's going to work out. The Chaos Warriors definitely are able to weather a lot of missile fire, but Way Watchers have a ridiculous amount of ammunition. They've got like 20 volleys available to them. Most missile units of a high tier, like Way Watchers, have usually a little bit less, or they just hit with a lot less armor piercing. Way Watchers are pretty hard to wrangle as well. They're very quick, with 40 foot speed, which is definitely a respectable value. Plus, this open and loose formation of the Way Watchers means that oftentimes, even if you collapse on them, if you give a movement order to the Way Watchers, they can actually pull away from pursuing units. And it's very hard to actually do damage to them as they're running away, which is a big problem oftentimes. Broccoli's going to have to get some very clean engagements to win this one. You've got Ariel here with Apotheosis and Shield of Thorns. Shield of Thorns is a very meta spell against Khorne, plus you've got a decent heal, and Berry Wine is an excellent single-use item. I mean, basically what you're going to be seeing here probably is Berry Wine get popped on the Wild Hunters of Kurnus as they take a huge fight. They get Shield of Thorns popped on them, and then Apotheosis to just try and nuke a decisive death blow on them. Either that, or you just pop it on Ariel or Orion if they get low. Either of those options is going to be really nice for the Wood Elves. Charix advances up onto all 3 points in the opener. Always a good call against the Blood God if you can manage it. Not a guaranteed strategy for success, but with the good micro, here it shouldn't be too much of a risk for Charix, and there should be some good opportunities for punishes with the Way Watchers opening up from the sides here, but good dodging from Broccoli. Excellent attention on those cultists. Utilizing some wheels from these guys. They do have 44 foot speed, and they've got a good turn radius, so they can actually dodge missile fire. You don't have to just rely on the silver shields with these guys to weather the missile play. Ariel is moving forward, and it is a bit of a bait. You can see a little trail of, what are these? Little ethereal flowers coming in behind her. Trying to grow anything in the blasted wastes of the Chaos Dwarves is probably an exercise in futility, but the idea behind sending her out over here is to try and get Arbol or the cultists to attack her, and then have the Way Watchers get a very accurate volley onto those characters. Brutal value against the Gorbeast Chariot here. Way Watchers just unloading on these poor things. You can see the accuracy. Nice dodge here, though. I mean, a little bit of damage there, but nothing too severe. We do get the Hagbane Tip Riders. They're going to poke the Furies very effectively. Best skirmish cav in the entire game. Extra range over all other horse archers. Amazing AP on these guys, too. 7 is well above the standard 3 or 4 from other horse archer variants, so they've got a lot going for them. Arbol gets smacked by the Way Watcher fire. Way Watchers do take a little bit of damage from some source. I'm not 100% sure what got them. Maybe Arbol did get a couple of... Yeah, he did actually take down 3 Way Watcher models. Warhounds are going to try and run away from the Hagbane Tips, as the Hagbane Tips are going to chase down these poor hounds. The hounds didn't want to get smacked by the damage from the Shield of Thorns, but pulling away here, they might actually end up breaking. It should be a big problem. Warhounds get the attack off on the Eternal Guard. Furies are going after the Way Watchers here. See the Way Watchers pulling away, taking a little bit of damage, but nothing too severe. Gorbeast Chariots, though, are going to get a good charge through. And they do get some great damage on that Way Watcher unit as they make contact. Excellent work. Apotheosis goes down, but that's a pretty small heal. Nothing too substantial. We are going to see the Fury pressure dissipate very quickly. Brutal value advantage already for Charix. That deep dive not paying off in the least. Gorbeast Chariot goes down. 2 Furies dissipate. You can see the Warhounds not able to catch the Hagbane Tips. So rough, man. I mean, these things can just motor away from everything. They don't have to worry about getting caught with the poison that they've got available. Crazy high speed. Excellent missile damage as I've gone over. There's really not a whole lot Khorne can do about those guys right now. Orion getting beaten up by the cultists, but who cares, honestly? I mean, you've got the heal from Berry Wine still available for Ariel. And 3,000 value up on Khorne at the moment. Chaos Warriors just can't do anything. They're too slow. They're doing what they can to beat up on the Wood Elves, but you're so far forward, and your opponent still holds their back objective. Trying to hold a double cap here when you're down 3,600 value is going to be brutally tough. I don't see how Khorne's going to do this, but maybe Broccoli's going to find a way. We're going to have to see here. Excellent use of the Wildwood Rangers. Oh my god, they're trashing these Chaos Warriors right now. 81 kills, and they just smack them down. In no time flat. Oh my god, and Broccoli is going to tap out here. That is a dominant finals win from Charix, dude. Oh my god. Apparently the most untouchable Orion main of all time. Waywatchers with disgusting value. 1,000 and 1,500. They have more than half of their ammunition, if I'm not mistaken, at the end there. Ouch, dude. Big freaking ow. I really think that the Chaos Knights of Khorne needed to come in. And I think maybe you sit on your back objective with the Chaos Warriors early. And you don't go for those dives until you have all of your mobile units on the field. You just have to eat damage early until you get all the Chaos Knights and the Furies and the Hounds out. I don't really like Khorne Gores against the Wood Elves either. Honestly, cut these guys and bring throwing axes, or cut them and get Flesh Hounds or something. Truth be told. I think you're better off that way. The more mobile elements you have against the Wood Elves, the easier this matchup is, in my experience. Another option is maybe a Skull Cannon in reserve. Just so you have something to try and shoot the Eternal Guard from a distance. Maybe get a volley off on the Waywatchers as they reveal themselves. It's definitely no easy task here, though. Big congrats to Charix. That is just so freaking hard to beat. No notes. Yeah, I agree with you, Martinius. That was just, that was as rough of a matchup as you're gonna see. As bad as my matchup in Nasipa was, Wood Elves with a bunch of Chaos Warriors as the requirement, I think is pretty terrifying to have to actually engage against. I'm curious to see these other games, though. We're going to just jump in, and we'll do the rest of the replays that people have sent me. Once we're done with that, I'll just probably sign off. It's going to be a fairly short... stream today. We got another matchup on Whirling Maelstrom. Apparently Whirling Maelstrom is kind of growing on me. I did not like this map the first few times I played on it, but it's actually got some cool stuff going for it. It's one of the few maps with, like, large terrain blockers that I find to not be, like, brutally unfun to play on. You know, this is the, like, style of map that CA thinks it's developing when it makes something like the Silver Spire or Eye in the North that they just don't quite manage to pull off. Those maps are a little too small for that. The benefit of this map is that it is actually nice and open on several sides of the battlefield, so you don't just have easy areas to just, like, literally close off from your opponent. If this were, like, Silver Spire has areas where you can just stick one infantry unit and block off an entire access point. These are a little bit too hard to just do that freely on. Anyways, Orion is going to be on the middle objective, and Norscan Warhounds, are they really going to try and engage Orion? He's just going to terror out these Hounds, man. Hounds do not like terror-causing units. He gets a great charge off, and instantly the Warhounds are going to decide that they don't need this shit, and they're going to peel out, trying to escape from the terrifying leader of the hunt here. Wild Hunt reigns supreme, as always. This ain't The Witcher. This is Warhammer. They get a bit more of a opportunity to go hog wild here. Ariel waiting in the wings. Doesn't have Shield of Thorns this time. Actually going for Soul Stealer and Apotheosis. With, of course, Berry Wine available. I do think that's actually the right call, though, because you know your opponent's going Wulfric. Wulfric has no way to heal himself, so Soul Stealer on top of Wulfric's head is a great way to wear him out. Plus, you have extra spell mastery, because Alariel has the Greater Arcane Conduit. Extra 15% damage on Soul Stealer is a great punish tool for blobs of any type, especially on a fairly low HP Lord. He is on the Chariot here, actually, which is kind of cool. Gives him more HP. He still has his shield. And going to be pretty good against the infantry of the Wood Elves here. So we're going to see him charging down the Dryads. We do get a Shield of Thorns going off. Oh, from the Sisters of Thorn, I just realized these guys are available. Dropping Curse of Honor here into one of these fights. Looks like it's on the Marauder Hunters. Hunters are trying to use their throwing axes against the Firebark Elders here. To help out the Marauder Champions. The Firebark Elders are beating the crap out of these champions, honestly. I mean, it's a bit of a wet noodle contest if you look at the stats, but the weapon strength as it's getting through and hitting the Marauder Champions is actually causing them to get worn out fairly quickly. You get a attempt on a Burning Head, but it does not hit the Wild Hunters cleanly. Plus, you have Berry Wine healing these guys up like crazy. You can see how big of a heal it is. 110 HP per tick is wild business. It actually heal caps them with 56 models remaining. Boss Toss is staying fairly even, though, and we do see Sisters of the Thorn getting caught by Norscan Warhounds and Ice Wolves, but the Ice Wolves are trying to push past. I think that's a bit of a mistake. The Marauder Champions are trying to run away from Wildwood Rangers as well. Definitely don't want to let the Wildwood Rangers get engaged on those guys. Quad Champion is doing okay in the middle. They've got the cap here. Cap on the number 3 for the Norskins as well. And you can see here on the low ground, Dryads did take this. Chaos Frost Dragon, I don't think is really wanting to stay down here. I would try to get the Dragon out and go to help out in the mobility engagements. Those are looking pretty bad right now. And you can see Wulfric getting caught in the trees up here. You got the Wild Hunters of Kurnus and Orion on top of Wulfric now. He takes a massive shot there and loses about 700 HP. Also getting terror routed, but the Warhounds arrive at the perfect moment. Little Norscan Ice Doggos are going to stop the Wild Hunters' rampage against Orion for the time being, but they end up breaking. That Burning Head is just not working against these guys. We get another dive from some more Hound-type units, but again, getting massacred by the Wild Hunters with their charge bonus, and there's just nothing that Norsca is able to do against these guys. Finally getting a terror route with the Miststalkers coming in, and very fortunately able to stop the rampage of the Wild Hunters into the backline. They're just shy of their value, but I think they've done enough work to allow for time out here in the middle engagements to get the Wood Elves into a winning position. You can see they've got a lot of Marauder champions here, but you've got a bunch of Starfire Shafts. You've also got Hagbane Tips with their decent AP, as well as poison damage and magic attacks. They're really starting to hammer down against the Hunters and the Champions as they're a little bit out of position. They are starting to close the gap, but Ariel with the Terror Routes is going to be an issue for these guys. That's a beautiful Burning Head. The first one that I've seen do some excellent work here. I think if we got some better Burning Heads out of the Norskins here, they would be in a winning position, but they just haven't been able to get the right kinds of engagements. Curse of Honra here on the Horsemen and the Sisters of Thorn collapsing on them. They do have those poison missiles. They close the gap. They debuff the speed. And they lower all the stats, and they just chunk down the Horsemen. Huge win there for Charix in the mobile game. Frost Dragon has really not done a whole lot, and the breath attacks have been fairly lackluster. You've seen 2 of them, and you only have 400 value out of all of that. Plus, Wolfric does get collapsed on by Wild Riders, Orion, and the Sisters of Thorn, and he just gets iced here. We've got Orion taking him down. You can see the Chariot of not the Everchosen, what the hell is his nickname? The Eternal Champion. Chariot of the Eternal Champion is in ruins. I don't see Wolfric, though. He must have teleported back to Norska to, you know, lick his wounds and maybe come back for some vengeance later. Great heals. You see Shield of Thorns going down to the Wild Riders right now. 20-second duration left on that. Ice Wolves are going to get in here and actually delete themselves, I think. You see them closing the gap, and you can see the Wild Riders kind of face-checking them. Not that much damage from Shield of Thorns, actually, but now it's starting to trickle up as the Wild Riders are going to be going down, but it does wear off. Miststalkers and the Ice Wolves have a winning fight here, but Frost Dragon just not going to get done. 1,100 value on it, but Orion is wearing this thing down. 2,400 value on Orion. Ariel with a bunch of Terror Routes. Marauder Champions just getting whittled down by all the arrow fire. Those heavy armored shielded infantry just aren't working against the Wood Elves. They just can't win. They don't get good fights. They're too slow to get into the backfield and be disruptive enough to win in that backline area, and they just get whittled out of existence by the steady and consistent pressure from the Wood Elves' range tools. Awesome stuff. The Marauder Hunters are very lackluster. Warhounds actually get 900 value here. And then you do have the Miststalkers doing some pretty good work with 900. The issue is that there just weren't enough tools. You don't have any way to kill Orion or Ariel. They were too disruptive on top of all of that. Plus you have the decent value from the Sisters of Thorn. One was a little lackluster with only 500. The other one with 9 and very healthy at the end there. Wild Riders were disruptive enough. Wraiths did some good damage. The Wildwood Rangers got some decent value before they got nuked by that Burning Head. And the other elements were enough to just hold on to the points, man. That sucks, dude. Oh my god. Nobody able to even find a way to hang in for the late game against Charix is telling how dominant he was this tournament, man. Norska usually has a winning matchup against the Wood Elves, in my experience. Alright. Next replay, guys. We actually do have one more live game to play. We may be playing our Changer's Gambit game on stream. I'm just talking with Random Cuban, who's my opponent for that. Arbol is just going to face check these horse archers. They do not have the damage to really threaten him, honestly. He gets a little bit of poke in against him, but only about 150 or 170 damage. Wow, and look at the Exalted Heroes! Oh, no freaking way, on the Juggernauts. This is actually a cool tech, honestly. I've actually seen the Exalted Heroes and the Blood Reapers on the Juggernauts really manhandle Tomb Kings before. They're excellent combat characters. They do a ton of damage. They got great AP, obviously. Foot characters, you can't do much. Can't really bring any foot characters if these guys are on the field. And their attack stats are good enough that they can really pursue stuff like the Kemerian War Sphinxes. And maybe even tangle the Hyrule Titans without too much of a problem. Carrion land in against the Corngors, trying to tie them up while the Horse Archers poke the Corngors down. Good attempt. Exalted Heroes just chase them off, back up into the air. This side, the Carrion, oh man, getting beat up. Arbol, not really doing much, but the Corngors throwing down with those Carrion pretty cleanly. Crazy damage from them, honestly. Pretty decent Purple Sun of Xerius, hitting the Bloodwake Berserkers and the Chaos Warriors. How much value did we get on Arkan out of that? Yeah, 500 value out of that Purple Sun is crazy business. That's with all of the spell resist that Khorne has. So, Arkan with a decent amount of value early on. Fleshhounds crushing Carrion over here. That's going to be a very clean fight for Khorne. You got Forsaken moving out to support that middle engagement. Fleshhounds could probably stand to pull back and just let the Carrion crumble down in a moment here, probably. Corngors fighting Skeleton Warriors, no biggie for Khorne. There's really not any high-quality infantry to utilize against Corngors, in my experience, for the Tomb Kings here. You've just got to hope that your big monsters, chariots, and missile pieces can wear out Corngors. Skeletons definitely are not equal to that task on average. Chaos Warriors and Bloodwake Berserkers grinding through a bunch of bodies. You can see the Skeleton Warrior summon from Arkan is in here, mucking up the works. I mean, it's not really going to get a lot of value for Khorne, but you'll be able to clean these chaff units up that are occupying two fairly expensive units much quicker than you otherwise would, which will be nice. Get a Spirit Leech on Arbol, but Arbol has extra spell resistance since he's on a Fleshhound. 50% instead of 35, so he'll hold up pretty well against this. You can see he's just ignoring most of the damage. Another beautiful Purple Sun over here, clearing out a bunch of the Corngors. Chaos Warriors take a bunch of damage as well, but they still win this fight against the Warriors. Despite the decent damage from that Purple Sun, Arbol not really going to be contributing much outside of the spell damage, and he's going to run out of magic pretty soon. Purple Sun is fairly expensive. It is 18 winds of magic, so you can only do so much to cast that over the course of the game. I think you get 4, maybe 5 casts out of that. I think 5. I think you usually get 100 WOM over the course of a game. Fleshhounds and Furies are just bullying Horse Archers. That's one of the scariest things for the Tomb Kings in this matchup. Furies and Fleshhounds just shred all of the mobility of the Tomb Kings. It's all very lightly armored. You have to really swarm with your Skeleton Horse Archers and Horsemen if you're going to beat all of the Khorne mobility. You're relying on numbers for the Tomb Kings if you're going to get dubs in that arena.
You have the foe's victory.
Bound Shim's Burning Gaze, and the Hyrule Titan does smack the Chaos Warriors. You can see this Hyrule Titan has 1,000 value, but it's going to get ripped apart by... It would get beat by Bloodwake Berserkers alone, but with Arbol and the Exalted Heroes here, it's going to be even more terrifying for it. Exalted Heroes don't have their potions of toughness, so no heals on these guys, but not that big of a deal. The potion of toughness is kind of lackluster anyways. Just using them to continue hounding the Hyrule Titan is definitely the way to go here. They've got a little bit of buffering with some very powerful units underneath them. Skeleton Spears aren't really poking very well. And they are going to turn around on Arkan now. They just wheel about. Chaos Warriors pinning him from one side. You can see Arbal and the Exalted Heroes bullying Arkin as he just gets absolutely shredded in record time by the triple team. Ugly spot to be in. For a non-combat Lord, Arkin just cannot be here. He's got decent non-AP weapon strength and melee defense. I'm trying to click on him here to show it off. I mean, 50 is decently defensible, but Khorne just has incredible melee attack stats, so it doesn't even matter. I mean, the undefeated one here, as well as the Exalted Heroes, have like over 55. They're all very tired, but they're still swinging in with all that AP, and they just brutalize all the units that you can possibly be throwing in against them in this fight. Nice shems out of the Hyrule Titan hitting the Forsaken, getting a few model kills, but nothing too severe. Spell resistance again, keeping the Khorne units upright. Hyrule Titan with 1500 value is damn impressive, but it's not going to be much longer for this world, and there's still nothing to kill the Bloodwake Berserkers. 1200 value on those guys. They'll just kill chaff units the rest of this game and grind this out, probably. Good cap from the Horsemen, but trying to fight Forsaken with Necro Horsemen is going to be a huge loss for the Tomb Kings. Forsaken have 100 armor. The Khorne Forsaken with 100 armor are actually pretty nasty on the charge. Really nothing that doesn't have AP damage is going to be able to tangle with them in the mobility game. You can see, look at the Skeleton Horse Archers. Even worse performance from them. They get a charge on a Forsaken that's actually kind of standing still. The Forsaken do pile in pretty nicely, but just that weapon strength and the melee attack just cleaves through the light armor on those dudes, and that's going to be all she wrote over there. We do get a cleanup over here on the number 1, though. Gepard is just so far down in the value trades with losing Arkin, losing the Hyrule Titan, healthy hero core, and a healthy elite unit that's going to go and just mop up the number 2 eventually. Recap that. You can see the number 3 is getting recapped in record time. Forsaken are just not going to yield this at all. Skeleton Chariot's coming out. Going to be a good answer for the Forsaken, but Khorngor's coming in to replace. You just maneuver the Forsaken around this way. Have this other one charge in here. Get the Flesh Hounds. Yeah, the Flesh Hounds just engage against the Nehekar Horsemen over here. You get some more Khorngors in, and you just try and surround these guys to wind this clock down. Just wheel about with the Flesh Hounds here and have the Khorngors collapse from the other side. You can see Gepard with some good micro, going to be wheeling away now. It's really good summons priority from Broccoli to be able to dissuade a commitment there from all of those Tomb King's skirmish cavalry. I call them skirmish cav. They don't have missile attack, but that is kind of the function. They're just a light cavalry unit for the mobility fights. You know, they're fairly limited in what they can do as a heavy hitter. I saw a really good Fury of the Blood God go off here. Broccoli has gotten some good value out of those. Again, nailing some units here. Nice sword. If you've got the 300 kill requirement, why wouldn't you drop it? It's an attitude statement piece, right? Actually got some pretty good damage on the Horsemen over here. Cleaving through a lot of the HP on those guys. It gives the Khorngors and the Flesh Hounds time to isolate this last Nehekar Horseman. You can see they're trying to pull away, but they're having a very hard time disengaging with the Flesh Hounds. Mixed in here and slowing up the withdrawal path of a lot of the Nehekar Horsemen. Horsemen have crazy mass, 1,000 mass on the Bone Cavalry. I never even noticed. I never even clocked that. They have way more mass than the Flesh Hounds, who only have 450. That's wild, dude. Spearmen doing some kind of business, whatever they can. Skeleton Chariots are getting hounded by the Exalted Heroes and Arbal now. This is a great hero core to just run around with and kind of beat up on folks. You can see the Exalted Heroes trying to pull through and get away from the Spearmen and the Eyes of the Desert, who have finally made their way out. Sepulchral Stalkers have excellent missile damage, hard-hitting laser eyes, very short range though. Definitely have some drawbacks against Khorne, but well-protected Sepulchral Stalkers carry this matchup in my experience. It's just a shame that they're coming in for the late game when they don't have any way to buffer units off of them. Chaos Warriors with a whopping 250 kills and 100 value on them is, you know, undead matchups in a nutshell. And that's going to be a tap out from Gepard. The mobility just couldn't get it done. The chaff was atrocious. They just got farmed by Bloodwake Berserkers and Warriors. You got good kill totals on Arbol and the Exalted Heroes as well, plus the damage from Fleshhounds, Forsaken. Just too much. Too many good units that the Tomb Kings can't contend with. And they falter horrifically here. And we can see Broccoli, the very dominant win for that. Tomb Kings matchup. So we've got Orion Kimbler next, and we've got a couple of other games that we might be seeing in a minute. Hold on. Cuban might actually be ready for our Changer's Gambit match. So we might... Okay, we're going to divert away from this, and we'll come back to this game in a little bit. We're going to play our Changer's Gambit match, actually. I'm going to have to go get some water. I'm talking a million miles a minute. Feel my brain really rushing. Need to slow myself down a little bit. I'm actually getting sweaty from moving around in my chair and getting so animated, actually. It's still hot as hell. It's October, guys. It's October in Michigan, and it's still 80 degrees every day. It's awful. It sucks. I'm waiting for the weather to cool off, so I'm not constantly feeling like I'm suffering. Yeah? Oh? I think we're gonna, yeah, we're gonna time out again. That's fine. We're gonna go do our picks and bans. And I'm just gonna show y'all that. Because I love matrices. They're really fun. And just engaging, a really engaging format. I'm trying to find my words. Okay. Random Cuban plays a lot of Warriors of Chaos. I'm tempted to ban them. Although it is a random tournament, so we might actually want to ban some of the other, more obnoxious factions. I think we ban Vampire Counts here, and then maybe we go for, what else does Random Cuban even play? I don't mind playing Demons. Chaos Dowie sound like hell, so I think I'm just going to ban these two. He banned Dowie and Slaanesh. I don't even play Dowie. So that's great for me. I do dabble in Slaanesh, but I don't play them too often. We're going to go for our standby factions. Since none of them got banned, why not? I'll play Corn any day of the week in any matchup. I'll take my lumps to learn how to avoid shenanigans. We're gonna grab Kislev. Love me some Kislev. Kislev's very good against Warriors of Chaos, in fact. It's a really good matchup for them. High Elves, okay. We could go Norska. We're gonna go Ogre Kingdoms. I have not played them in a while, but, they were my main faction on release. I've got plenty of experience with them. I think it wouldn't be too hard of a swing back into the groove with those guys. Ogres are just really straightforward. You're just faster than everybody. You're aggressive. You bring a bunch of bodies with all your Noblars, and then back that up with some select shooting, maybe an artillery piece, and go crazy with your Slaughtermasters or Golg. Slick. Okay, guys. Oh, hold on. I gotta... Oh my god. I gotta get the new, Gotta get the new lobby code. It's not gonna let me join that one. Yeah, no, there's no response. Of course there isn't. I'll BRB, guys. I'm gonna go to the bathroom and get some water. Okay, we're back. We're ready. And we've got Khorne. Oh, Khorne's being banned from the Warriors of Chaos portion of the Matrix. Okay, no biggie. See what we can do. Ogre Kingdoms are going to be a little risky because of the random lord, but most of them are okay. We're going to ban... I don't think we want to ban any of the Kislev matchups, honestly. I think they're all really solid for me. Oh, Cuban is not going to have any random units because he hasn't won any games. I've got to randomize my army for 2k value. The format of this tournament and this setting is that I need to randomize my army twice, and 2k value in my starting army, and 2k value in the reinforcements needs to be totally randomized. Let me bring you guys over so you can see the band so far. So Walk versus Kislev is open. I don't really know what I want to ban here. I'm not really, I'm not too worried about any of the matchups that are left. Maybe I should be. You know what? Give me a second, guys. I just need to go consult Total Tavern for a moment. I will BRB. Just want to see if there's any matchups here that are traps. I don't think there are, though. Ogre Kingdoms, they're struggling against Empire a little bit, I guess. So maybe we move off of that, go for something else. Khorne versus High Elves is fairly Khorne favored. I think I can be okay there. We'll ban Kislev versus Warriors of Chaos. Since my opponent doesn't have to actually randomize anything, I think because I do need to randomize some stuff, that could actually end up being trickier than Khorne High Elves or Ogre Kingdoms High Elves. I feel very comfortable fighting into elf factions for the most part. High Elves especially, I have quite a bit of practice against them. So either of those matchups I'm pretty okay with. Alright, I'll let y'all know what the final choice is. So we're going to be playing Ogre Kingdoms. Let's go. Let's see what we can do with the Ogies. Okay, so hold on. Let me just go back and consult the Sacred Oracle Nalnish. So we randomize twice, we remove units from right to left, and then 2k value needs to be randomized. So that is... in the starting army, Lord is fully randomized, basically. Anything else, we'll just see about. Let's go for it. Doink. And we got Golg as our Lord, so... That's awesome, dude. That's so awesome. We could bring the debuff. I actually think that's a really good call. Because it does specify that it's against, terror-causing units. High Elves do love their terror-causing stuff. And yeah, we got randomized Nobbler, so that's our 2k random in our start, and then... Oh, I did... Well, that's my own fault. We've got a Beast Caster. We don't get to change lores, right? Can't change lures of magic or mounts, that's it. Okay, that's fine. I mean, a Butcher is going to be okay. We do have to pare this down a little bit. We can't swap our magics. Don't really think I need the Rune Maw. Maw Shard with Wild's magic I don't see being very impactful either. I mean, it's a pretty good lore of magic to get against the High Elves. We got Flock of Doom, and maybe we should do, Pants Pelt. Yeah, I think that's a good, set of spells here. We'll just keep our, Wild at Heart, or Wild Heart. And then the Ogre Bulls here are required, so this is what our random force looks like for reinforcements. We can grab some of these dudes. Yeah, some riders is good. Do I want slingers? Eh. They're okay. We could bring the Thunder Tusk. There's a limit of 1. Is that what we want to go for, though? Do we want some more business that we can stand on? Get a couple flingers. We'll get some trappers also with Iron Guts, maybe? Probably a Lead Belcher. We'll get a Scrap Launcher too, and we'll put a Chevron on that thing. We'll get the Eshin Maneater in reserve. Pretty strong unit to have available. We could do... what map are we on? Are we on Creeping Swamp? This does have water on it, correct? No, it doesn't. We'll get more Trappers. Saber Tusk packs are pretty good. A couple of Blood Vultures. We'll get Mournfang Cav. Maybe cut those guys, and we'll get Maneater Pistols, actually. Don't have a terror-causing unit. Stonehorn would be pretty awesome to have. Nah, we're gonna actually skip out on that. And do one more dual weapon bowl. 905 supplies remaining. Get rid of this Nobbler Trapper. Man-Eater, Great Weapon, or another Mornfang Cav. Yetis don't cause terror. The Amble Peak Greybacks do, but they're pretty expensive. I am also a little worried about fire damage. There are plenty of options for that with the High Elves, so I think they'll just get bullied. I think I'll do Great Weapon Man-Eaters. I think that's the right call. Alright, I like this build. I think this is going to be solid enough. We got plenty of Noblars. We've got some heavy hitters. A little bit of super long range, good medium range. We've got good aggressive bull options. Nice Lord of Magic to help wear down cavalry. Some heavy hitting anti-cav with the Mornfangs. Slick. It's actually pretty nice, I mean. It's a good Vanguard force. We've got trees to play out of, too, which is honestly kind of good. Yeah, we suffer some debuffs in here, but it will help keep us safe from some amount of shooting from the High Elves. Which I definitely like to take advantage of as much as possible. Now, our opponent's going to have the advantage of whatever Lore of Magic they want, which is probably going to be Burning Head, which is pretty nasty against Ogre Kingdoms. It does mess you up pretty bad. We're going to put these guys in Group 4 and just lock that. We're set. I'm ready to go. See if we can win against a random Cuban here.
Ready. Let's go.
And there. Handmaiden of the Everqueen, which is kind of cool. Teclis is on horseback. Over here. There's a lot of Silverins. There's Lothern Seaguard. Scrap Launcher is going to be very disruptive against this infantry. These things hit really hard, guys. I'd love to be able to get them in position and just start hammering the High Elves. And we're going to bring our Butcher in first. Although we could go for the Mornfang Cavalry, I actually think I'm going to summon them in first. I think that's the right call. We're gonna Deadeye Shot, techless real quick.
We have a victory point.
We got a massive amount of damage against him. We may get netted here, but Golg is heavily armored enough that it wouldn't be the end of the world if I did. Pull these guys out and over. These Lotherns don't actually have shields or anything. Get some nice collateral damage here. Let's get away. Probably gonna try and net these guys, so we just want to kind of avoid the worst of that. Alright, yeah, we'll bring these guys in now. I'm gonna motor up over here. Let's get the trees.
The enemy has captured one of your victory points.
Yeah, we get a little bit of damage here. We're gonna open up on these guys since they're crazy blobbed up right now. Let's get a blood vulture in. Getting some good value here. Let's hit these guys. Let's get up over here and attack. Do have some Warlions in on my Lord right now. Let's get our caster over. Alright, lead belchers have done good damage here. Let's swap targets over there. I need to keep pulling back. A little bit messy on some of my engagements, but my opponent's really deep in here. Turn around and shoot these guys. Let's run some Noblars forward. Not a lot of pressure into my back line, which is great. We are crushing through on a couple of fronts now, which is awesome. I'm going to save up. Pop extra ingredients here. Get a fat flock of doom off. Now let's drop this Pan's Pelt on my Mornfangs. We'll keep the pressure up. Let's get these guys back because they're starting to take some fire from some of the Lotherns. Could summon in on that side. I don't think we do. Do we need... what do we need here? Dual weapon bowls, maybe? Potentially. Just need to keep going. We need to crush all of these units that are in the back line right now. We do have a pretty good set of fights going off right now. So the Silverins are a pretty difficult to clear unit. I do feel confident, though. Let's actually just get these guys engaged against the Silverins. Let's turn these guys around. Let's turn these guys around. Let's get these guys running up into the front line and just muck up the works. We've got a rear charge here. Could pop a Massacre, which would be half decent. Move over here. Don't think I need to use any magic at the current time. I actually think Titanic Charge is the way to go here. A lot of high elf units routing over here. I think what I do is get a Saber Tusk pack to go chase down a bunch of stuff. Maybe just bring another one out as well, just for aggression. Let's get Golg actually back. We're gonna pop Bugman's Brew here. Can I position this so I can hit all of these guys? See if that actually gets them all. Meat Feast on Man-Eaters is going to be disgusting. I mean, they're literally going to go from, like, 2/3 health up to full. My Belchers are going down, sort of. I think I don't know, we actually saved them. Let's maneuver them over. Dual Weapon Bowl. Let's just keep the pressure up here. Now we can just push past the Silverins. We're a little trapped up on this Silverin Guard, maybe a little too long. Definitely could have done some maybe maneuver around them a little bit cleaner, but we got some good fights over here. Butcher's a little beat up, but I think we'll be okay. Let's actually get him away from all the Lotherns and the Silverin Guard here. We'll drop our spells. We get a great charge, dude. I mean, the High Elves are just not able to really equal some of these units. And the Scrap Launcher can shoot in here. The Lead Belcher is shooting here. It's been a little chaotic. I've definitely missed a couple of opportunities to position a little bit cleaner and get some extra decent damage against the High Elves, but all in all, I think it's gone very well for ourselves. We'll get the Man-Eater Great Weapons out now. Got some Silver Helms over there. Mournfang Cavalry are basically all dead and gone, but that's not that big of a deal because we still have the Golg's Man-Eaters. We've got our Mage. They can all kind of wear down anything short of the Fireborn. That's like the only unit that I'm afraid of. Just pop this. We'll just have our boy bum rush the Silver Helms here. Maybe, yeah, I'm using that Massacre on the Mournfang Cav here was a mistake. They're on the way out. Thought they might be able to do a little bit more damage with the buff there. Obviously not, though. Golga's in here, though. He's getting some good work done. He's just beating up on whatever he can. We're going to try and unsummon all of the beat-up Noblars so we can summon them back in. We'll bring out Pigback Knights. They can go rush. Not a Vanguard. No, they're not a Vanguard unit. Okay. Oh, they, whoops. It's a big mistake. Lost track of my Lead Belchers and let them, just wander into Spears, which is, not great. Still have the infantry we need, and we've got the, Scrap Launcher online again. I've forgotten about it a little bit this game. Definitely could have stood to use it a little bit more aggressively, but now it's on the line and gonna get some good damage off on the, rallying units back here. Scrap Launchers are not accurate, but the damage from the multi-projectile is really strong. Let's run away now. Let's clean up here. Let's get up here. Trappers for the high ground. Mournfang Cav, non-Ogre Bull, and then a Nobblar Flinger. Yeah, nice damage there. I'm just going to hit the Silver Helms with the Dismember real quick. I don't have anything quite quick enough to catch them. So we're going to just try and compromise them with the Silver Helm. Or compromise the Silver Helms with Golgs and the Saber Tusk Pack. Because they're very out and exposed right now. May take a little bit of damage. We'll turn these guys around and just have them get themselves killed, I guess. The Belchers have a little bit of ammo. They can advance forward and do some damage. Save up for Mournfangs. Nice. We'll get Blood Vultures over here to go attack these rallied Silver Helms. Do want my
Follow the Moor's call.
scrap launcher to keep shooting, preferably at least.
Have it. Where do we eat?
This gold guy's got 1400 value. It's pretty nice. And the man-eaters have 1300, which is awesome. Let's get these guys back. We'll get these guys over. We'll get another blood vulture out, and they can both motor up to the high ground against those spearmen with the flingers on this point. Pigback Knights here. We'll just have the lead belchers keep shooting. Scrap launcher needs to hit these guys. Golg, I'm going to use his ability, and we're going to see if we can pop this handmaiden in the face. Love it if he shot. He actually ends up missing. That's fine. We'll just go beat her up. And get some good damage here. We'll charge down. Wow, the scrap launcher just hammered those dudes, I think. It's got some good value. I think it's actually the lead belchers. Lead belchers are so gross.
Victory's in sight. Sticking it to them.
Stop blood trappers!
Alright, we got our dual weapon bulls in here doing some good work with the Golg's man-eaters. They should be able to wear down the spearmen. Then we'll go kill the rangers. We'll have these guys just maneuver over. Why not? We're in a very dominant position. There's not a whole lot that I need to do. Except summon out some, oh shit, there's, something super scary attacking me. And we'll get the, scrap launcher shooting the units that are engaged on Golg. Golg's just gonna eat the damage here. The lead belcher has been invaluable. These guys are so nasty. I didn't want to go too deep on them. I figured just one would be enough. There's shadow warriors here, so let's actually target them with the lead belchers. Scrap launcher can actually hit the infantry that are engaged on Golg. Just a couple of random shots should be enough. What the hell is it shooting? What is it doing? I don't know if that was the most inaccurate shot of all time, or what was going on there. Come on, lead belchers. Just a couple of volleys will kill quite a few of these guys, and that's enough for me, honestly. The slingers forward as well. We'll get a, could have summoned these guys out of the vanguard, but I didn't really have to. It's not that big of a deal. Move over here. We'll just send the Mournfangs to charge those spearmen. We'll get in position to drop up hands on top of those guys.
Get over there.
Oh, it's behind the tree. LOL. The win there. The lead belchers are going to attract some aggro and die. That's fine on some of these guys. Get all these dudes over. Any units that I'm not noticing that I could unsummon? Doesn't look like it. Crazy effective charge from the Mournfangs. They just dunked on that spearman unit.
Unending glory is yours.
There's some elements to this army that did pretty decently, but the Golg's Man-Eaters didn't lose a single model that entire game. Got 431 kills out of the lead belchers. There were a couple of moments that were a little hazardous for me, but I did clean up most of the back pressure from my opponent. Once Cuban's dives were kind of beaten off, that was kind of all she wrote. I got some really good engagements with my mobility. Man-Eater great weapons, ended up with some decent value. Pretty much everything was going my way there. GG's random. That's a tough matchup for High Elves, especially if you're having to push deep on the Ogre Kingdoms. It can be kind of an impenetrable hell. Pushing through all the Noblars to try and get any of the squishy stuff, it is a complicated process. Let's watch our Orion Kemmler game here. This is the last replay that I've got from the Legendary Lords tournament. I don't know if there are any others. Oh, Seepa and Broccoli. So let me download that. And that's the last game from the tournament. So, making really good time. 2 more replays, and then I'll call the stream. I'll go hang out with folks, eat and do nothing. Cairn Wraiths are advancing, 2 of them, 2 Hex Wraiths, obviously. It's going to be really rough. Just because the Wood Elves have so much magic damage, man. You get a beautiful Shield of Thorns here. No Berry Wine or anything, which is definitely needed here. You get Apotheosis instead. Just gonna let the Wild Hunters of Kurnus die here, seemingly.
We have a victory.
You are trading out for almost 2 Cairn Wraiths. That is honestly looking pretty nice. Oh, and Orion throws down his Hound's ability and gets this other Hex Wraith really low. These guys are, one of them is gone, the other is close to crumbling. Do get an Invocation of Nehek and White King with Kemmler closing the ground and gonna be trying to help these guys out, mopping up the last of the Wild Hunters of Kurnus. A little surprised that we didn't see Berry Wine on them, but Charix knows what he's doing. I'm sure there's a reason for that. Maybe a little afraid of Ariel and Orion getting beat up by the White King Goon Squad or something, perhaps. Oh, baiting with the Dryads, or baiting with the Glade Riders into the Dryads, trying to drag the Hex Wraiths into a magic damage dealing infantry unit is really cheeky. That's smart, man. You can see the Dryads getting engaged on Kemmler and the White King for a moment. They get hit by the Scab Scraith and take a decent amount of damage, but they do get into a pretty nice position. They're going to get Shield of Thorns. You can see the Cairn Wraiths and the Hex Wraiths taking a little bit of damage, and they get attacked by the Glade Riders now. Going really deep on this fight, and Orion smacking Kemmler right in the face. Almost knocking his wizard hat off his head here. Getting some javelin tosses in there, missing with that one, but just staying aggressive, and 700 value on Orion already. Pretty scary. Glade Guard are just waiting in the wings. I don't know how you move up into the face of those guys right now. You don't have anything with shields. There's no way to protect the corpse carts either. Charix is all over Kemmler with Orion and Ariel. Uh-oh. Oh my god, and he's caught by the Glade Riders too. The other White King makes his way over now. You get a zombie summon to try and save Kemmler's bacon, but that's a scary anti-large lord beating up on somebody who is just an incredibly weak melee combatant. At least in comparison. I mean, I'm a little surprised to not see the Cloak of Mists and Shadows. It is a really good tool for mitigating physical damage. Orion doesn't have magic damage, so it would be mitigating 75% of all of his pokes and javelins. Little sad to not see it. Really nice Hounds of Orion on top of the Blood Knights, plus you get a Soul Stealer. That's gonna hammer the White Kings, and really good Starfire Shaft volleys from the off angles, getting around those shields as those guys are engaged in combat. And you can see the Invocation of Nehek and the Banner of Blood Keep, not enough to save the Blood Knights, the Lances. 67 value, and they're basically on death's bed here. Massive lead for Charix. God, that's been the tail of the tape every single game. Dude, is Orion and Ariel actually kind of broken? I don't know about that, but maybe in this Legendary Lords format they are. Orion gets isolated now, but the Blood Knights are too beat up to actually hang in there, and they are going to crumble out before they can really hammer Orion down. He took about 1,000 damage from them in just a few moments of combat. White Kings are isolated by the Lost Sylvan Knights. Definitely not a unit that I would have expected to be coming out. And you can see zombies are just desperately pushing after Glade Guard, and they can't catch them. They're just too slow. Glade Guard pull back. Race to the Frozen Heart are disengaging from the Sternsman. Good micro from Charix there. Gonna get on top of the zombies and start to really chew those guys up. They will get collapsed on from the rear by the anti-infantry Graveguard elite unit. Gonna make short work of the Wraiths, but over here on the flank, another Blood Knight comes in. This one getting a fight against the Lost Sylvan Knights and Orion and Ariel, but they just cannot stay healthy, and the Berry Wine goes down to keep the Sylvan Knights active. Plus, you've got Shield of Thorns on top of all of that, and Blood Knights are just unequal to that task, and that's going to be a win yet again for Charix. He's just been killing he's just annihilating everyone. It's not even fair, dude. Yeah, 4 ethereals into Wood Elf magic damage is ouch. I mean, what are you supposed to do, right? Build up and maybe just all out push the Glade Guard or something. Just go full mobility for the undead, maybe? I don't even know. I mean, if you just brought, like, Hex Wraiths, the Cairn Wraiths, and then just didn't bring any corpse carts, and you go, like, all Black Knights or something, with the Lances, you could hammer this. That would still be really tough, but I think you'd maybe have a better time doing something like that instead. That's just me spitballing, though. I have absolutely no idea what would genuinely work. Whoa, what is this? Scar Bloodwrath. Are you for real? What? Alright, guys. I have honestly never seen anybody bring Scar Bloodwrath without memeing the hell out of it. But Broccoli Fangirl is rocking Scar, Wrathmongers, the Skull Reapers. I don't know if these guys are, I don't know if Arbol is mounted or not. He is on his Fleshhound. Scar is such a cool character. He's honestly not bad. I just don't know how you use him against Dark Elves, but we shall see here. Seepa, terrifying opponent to match up against, bringing pretty much it is the exact same build as what he brought against me when I was playing Khorne. A lot of Dark Rider repeater crossbows, just tons of those guys. Maxed out, ready to rock, but Arbol gets a charge in and actually causes some friendly fire. From the other Dark Riders on the high ground here. They actually macerate their own compatriots here. Friendly fire simply isn't, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget that. Chaos Warhounds are running the Dark Riders down. Khorne Warhounds have kind of had a bit of a comeback here. They do temporarily have ITP, so they don't just get auto-routed by terror-causing units and aren't affected by fear. Which can be really nice. Definitely much better than the double skull cannon that I ended up bringing. Scar and the Bloodwake Berserkers hiding in the trees. A good map for Khorne just because of the tree cover. You can see Marauders are getting up on the number 1, trying to take this point. Chaos Warhound's going to help with the cap. Skull Reapers advancing. Some Skull Reapers taking a little bit of damage from the repeater crossbows. Nothing too serious, though. Good dodges from Broccoli so far. Warhounds moving in, Dark Riders waiting in the wings, lots of Furies coming up, very aggressive army from Broccoli, of course. I'd be a little scared to engage the Coldwind Knights, honestly. Arball's just going right after Malekith, it looks like. He's trying to smack him around, but he just can't quite make contact. Does end up hitting the Bloodrack Medusa, though. He gets a nice little shot in there against her. Warhounds and Marauders on top of her. Uh-oh, Bloodrack Medusa needs to get the hell out of here. And the Coldwind Knights need to get a counter-charge here to try and peel for her. Otherwise, the Medusa's going to die here. Arball's going to body her with the support. But the Hounds and the Furies dive on top of the Coldwind Knights, and now they're going to be too cut off. They're not going to be able to assist here. Arball's going deep. Scar Bloodwrath is actually going for the K-Knight Assassin over here. He is going to do some significant damage to that poor fellow. Marauders get trampled by the Coldwind Chariots. Brutal loss for Khorne. Although, I mean, I say brutal loss. Unfortunate loss, really. It is just a Marauder at the end of the day, not the worst thing in the world. Scar is going to peel out of here, and you get the Skull Reapers, another Marauder, and the Wrathmongers moving in. Fury is going to dive the Dark Rider Repeater Crossbow. Sipa not able to dodge this dive. Very good dives from Broccoli, getting some great engagements. Skull Reapers get in on top of the Coldwind Knights, and the Furies and the Dogs, though, by themselves are able to kill those guys. What a combo! I really wouldn't have expected that to work as well as it has. We get a beautiful Fury of the Blood God here. Oh, they've been so money for Broccoli. It deletes this Witch Elf unit. They get absolutely munched on by that ability from Arball, and now the Skull Reapers on top of them is going to be lights out for those bare naked ladies. Chaos Fury staying disruptive. Khorngor's chasing into the back line. Furies on this side go down. Good counter charges with the Coldwind Chariots. Got some Dark Riders. I think they got beat up by the... doesn't look like just the Warhound. Something else was kind of chewing on them, I think. K-Knight Assassin gets pushed back. It seems like the Marauders are actually kind of able to put the moves on him. Definitely not doing too hot. Skull Reapers and just a death blob of... impossible to engage on infantry here on the low ground. I mean, the Coldwind Chariots could definitely run these guys over if they wanted to. They're going for the Marauders and putting themselves in a position where they're going to get a little bit of charge damage, potentially. No, good pull through from Sipa. Oh no, Malekith is the one who gets stuck here. He doesn't get the same move order, and he takes a ton of damage from Scar. Scar with 3 massive swings in against Malekith, chunking his HP down. Scar himself is pretty beat up. He doesn't have any charge on his blood tally, but Bloodborne will give him a 20% heal, which will be a respectable amount of HP. Scar has a pretty high HP pool at 5,600. That's going to be close to 12. No, it's more like about 1,150 or something. Malekith actually dies. He can't pull away from the Skull Reapers and the Wrathmonger mass. These guys are pretty beefy. They're hard to escape from if you get surrounded by them. And Scar is able to get the finish on Malekith. Of all people to kill Malekith, I would never have clocked it as Scar in this game. Arball is just disrupting the backline like crazy, and he has 1,600 value. Skull Reapers are going down back here, only 700 value out of those guys, but Khorngors are just stuffing an obscene number of units back here. There's 3 Dark Elf units that are struggling to disengage from this Khorngor. You got Coldwind Knights, Doomfire Warlocks, Dreadspears, and actually Dark Riders as well. Coldwind Knights are on death's bed, so they're not going to be able to do a whole lot else. Just unsummon them, I guess. Pray that you can get some stuff back in. Broccoli with a tiny value lead. But a small value lead against the Dark Elves is Khorne is all you need because their units are much squishier than yours. If you can keep them running and unable to get up on the points, you can do exactly this triple cap. Play into their backline, get isolations on units here and there, and kind of keep them on the Fritz, so to speak, not leave them any real room to value trade the way that they want to. Arbol does get ganged up on by a lot of Dark Elf bodies, but they just can't kill him. His heavy armor keeps him alive. Up to 2,000 value, we're going to get a Doombolt here? Oh yeah, Doombolt from the Doomfire Warlocks. It does slap in against a lot of expensive units, and you get a little bit of value out of this, but they're all still fairly functional. Nice Soul Blight here on top of all these guys, going to lower that armor. But negligible return on value. You've only got the Dark Rider Repeater Crossbows shooting in against these guys, and as nice as Repeater Crossbows are, they're not benefiting from the Soul Blight at all. Witch Elves would have been able to benefit from it. Maybe you just save onto that Soul Blight a little longer for the Witch Elves to resolve this fight a little bit cleaner. Now they're going to actually pull back, which I guess is not a bad call. Definitely want to try and kill the Bloodwake Berserkers while preserving literally everything you've got. You're so far on the back foot, you're just desperately looking for some kind of semi-decisive win back here against these bunches of units, so that maybe you have a chance to counter push, but it is just looking so grim. Broccoli is replacing the Marauder losses from earlier, getting up in here and being annoying. Spawn of Khorne with the Bloodwake Berserkers, excellent use out of Arbal's summon ability. Blows up, I believe, a Dark Rider, and then gets the Chaos Spawn out on top of a high-value infantry unit, and Spawn paying for themselves already in terms of the cost on these summon. 282 value. Plenty more to give. Bloodwake Berserkers, very beat up, but they are able to break these Witch Elves in record time with the assist. And Furies dive bombing more Dark Rider Repeater Crossbows. Just do this constantly. Just make sure that the Dark Elves don't get easy and free volleys off of the Repeater Crossbows, and you can profit immensely just by chasing them around even. Khorngors and Warhounds cleaning up the, what are these? Dark Rider? Yeah, Dark Riders all the way out here. Just want to see what else is coming in. Minotaur Great Weapon finally advancing forward. Definitely a good summon for this late game position to back up the Marauders. Marauders can get bullied by Dark Riders and Coldwood Knights, but if Minotaurs are there just to keep Coldwood Knights especially in check, suddenly becomes a almost impossible task for the Dark Elves to tackle. Malekith comes back in. Arbol is just wheeling around trying to avoid getting punched in the face. Scar Bloodwrath didn't pay for himself. He got 1,100 value, I guess. A whole of it against Malekith that first time around, basically. And look at the Khorngors coming in, dissuading the Repeater Crossbows from trying to catch Arbol. Malekith also has to peel off of Arbol here, and this has been excellent play with our boy. 2,200 value. He's paid for himself pretty much. A little bit shy of, I guess, his true total. Pretty sure he's 2,450 with Eye and Fury. But he does have a little bit left to give. He can get another good Fury of the Blood God off. He'll definitely get his value back, which will be super clutch. You can see Chaos Warhounds and Minotaurs just crushing the Dark Riders here. Doomfire Warlocks ain't doing too well either. More Warhounds in underneath, and this one has 1,000 value. Up to 1,100 now. Breaking the Doomfire Warlocks. Khorngors just boxing out the Repeater Crossbows. The Dark Riders just can't kill all the Khorngors in time. They have to contend with way too many threats chasing them. They're not able to get volleys off that decisively, like, zero out the HP on these harassing units from Khorne. You can see they just can't occupy enough space, and Broccoli has just locked it down with the triple cap, and has been disruptive enough that the Dark Elves, they just can't find the answers. Every time they bring in a Coldwood Knight, it gets isolated by a whole bunch of stuff, it gets taken out, you have to summon in your Lord again because of the leadership problems. He's not able to stay around as long as you want. You get all your Repeater Crossbows out on the field, but then you gotta contend with a million Warhounds once more. So you can't get the volleys off in the Khorne Gores and the Minotaurs. Malekith gets iced out here, but triple cap victory for Khorne. Brutal stuff, man. Absolutely aces hold here on the objectives from Broccoli. Excellent pressure in the back line, not afraid to tangle in the deployment zones, basically. Once the advantage is swung in terms of the supplies and the unit selection on the field, killing Malekith was so important. Plus getting that early kill on the Cold One Knight. That was a huge loss for Sipa. This unit just got isolated by Hounds and Furies, and they just lost out to the tandem of the weaker units just ripping into them with good weapon strength and ferocity. I'm just thanking Twist for hosting right now. He's been an absolute badass hosting this tournament format. I really appreciate all of the effort that he's put in today. Coldwind Chariots were the most impactful unit. 1,400, 1,500, good value on them. Yeah, you can see the Coldwind Knights just didn't get it done. That's the first one that got jumped by the Hounds and the Furies. Repeater crossbows were cost-effective, but they just weren't the X factor that was needed here. Medusa also getting shut down was the other big moment. All of that playing in on top of one another was just the kind of mistakes that you can't afford to make against Khorne. When Sipa was playing me, he was able to stay a little bit farther ahead of my army. He really got to take advantage of the skull cannons that I had. I think I'm going to go for something a little bit more like this if I ever play the Dark Elves again. This was a nice build from Broccoli. The pressure was great. It was fairly cost effective. I mean, it definitely up-traded in several areas. Just didn't see Silo. Silo would have been really fun to see out on the field, but didn't really need him. After Malekith and the Medusa were down, then you don't really need Silo to be running around beating up on any SEs, which is what he's best at. So, I understand just bringing out lots of Furies, Khorngors, and the Warhounds. They were a great choice. Surprised to not see Fleshhounds, but there were Blood Beasts as the main option for the hammer. It just didn't end up needing to be used there. Alright, guys. Thank y'all for tuning in. A little shorter of a stream today than yesterday. I'm going to dip out, go eat, chill. I hope y'all do the same. Stay safe. Please stay safe, everybody. Especially if you live in the U.S. Our government is out here violating every imaginable civil right now, so, you know, do what you can to take care of yourself and the people around you. It's going to be it for me. See y'all later.